Hello. Welcome to Healthy Knitting. My name's Rosie. It is June 1st, 2014. Take two. I was in the middle of recording and all of a sudden iMovie flashed this little thing and said drop frames, blah, blah, blah. And I just hit the button, kept going. I'm like, oh, it doesn't really look like it's recording, is it? No, it's not. Okay. So, me and my technology, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm just gonna say it all works because last time it was really hard getting that episode up. So this time it's gonna work. First try, I swear. Second try anyway. You can find me on Ravelry as LESPETITSLUXES, and there's a Ravelry group over there. So please join and have some conversation with us about what's important to you in the health and the environment, or anything else you feel like talking about. Because we do knit, right? So that's always fun. So a few thank yous. I'd like to thank the people who have actually posted on the board and reached out to me on private messages. And I've been a little busy this past week, so I haven't been able to really truly get back to people like how I want to. I had a lot of deadline things that needed to get done, and today I have a day off, so maybe later tonight I'll be able to do that. It's been a very busy week. It's been a very busy couple of weeks, but when I need to actually take time for something, I don't like to just, say one word answer. I want to actually be able to put some thought into something, so that does take some time. So I will be doing that later on. So new and good. We had a lot of new and good because it's been, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks since I've last posted. Last weekend was Memorial Day weekend, so I was busy and I didn't post, which I was just telling you about and when the thing stopped recording. So let me tell you about that. I went to go for a hike with one of my friends who's in my knitting group. And because it's the holiday, everything was really full, and we didn't realize it because we started out later. And instead of getting up there really early, it's either you can get there really early or you can get there later in the afternoon, and usually there's a place to park, blah, blah, blah. There was nothing to be had. I think which is great that people go out and go to the parks and go into nature and do all that fun stuff. We just were not prepared. So we wound up going out by 11:30, and we couldn't find a place. We finally were like looking on maps and we're trying to find a place around us. We found this crazy place that was out in the middle of nowhere and had iron mines, and the guys there was oh gosh, I forgot what they're called, but it was a veterans gathering place, and they were all in their outfits and hanging out and having meals and fun and chatting, and they're at the base of the trailhead. And there was this cute dog named Chewy there who really looked like Chewbacca. He was huge, and he had dreadlocks, and cool looking dog. Really, really fun dog. He walked with us for about 5 minutes and was like, I don't feel like it anymore. But my friend did bring her dog, so we were able to have a little bit of an excursion. I collected a couple of ticks, not attached to me, but I am a tick collector. Which is good when there's other people who don't want to have ticks on them. Not that I do, but I can deal with them, get them off me. It's just very interesting. There's a group of people. I'm the only one who gets the ticks. I actually had a piece of paper in my pocket, and I went to give it to Megan. Oops, I don't know if I should say her name. And there was a tick in the paper. I'm like, really? There was one somewhere else on me too. But anyway, I digress. It was not a place that I would ever hike again, but we were actually able to go hiking, which was the point because, it was a beautiful day. We just wanted to get out in nature and do some stuff. There weren't really any views. There was weird puddles and iron mines and weird stuff everywhere. Won't recommend that place, but next time we know that if you want to go hiking on a holiday, you need to get there early. What else is new and good? Not this past Friday, but the Friday prior, I went to see, what's it called? I don't know. At Mohonk, they have little classes and things like that, and I try to participate when I can. And this is one that I've been trying to do for a while, and I could never get in because it was always booked. It was very empty this year. I don't know if it was the date because it was the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. People were probably very busy. But I went to the Wolf Conservation Center. It was actually held in New Paltz, New York, and these people, I think, are in Salem or North Salem, South Salem, one of the Salems in New York, and they're not near each other, so it's the one in Westchester. And I forget, and I only live like, 10, 15 minutes away, for goodness sake. NewYorkWolf.org. Can you see that beautiful wolf right there? He is one of the spokes wolves, and you can't pet him or anything. They did actually, he was shedding, and they got to pass around his hair. It was really, really soft. And they go around and they teach about wolves and their importance, and it was a great program. I really enjoyed it, and they had just had cubs over there, and they've selected a new one to not take his place, but kind of like join him, and then when he's retired, this other dog will then be the spokes wolf, excuse me. And they showed a picture of him. Oh my gosh, she was so cute. It was like this big, just a little fluff ball, so adorable. But they don't handle them like pets. They still treat them how they are, not like, they don't treat them like a dog pet. Petting, cuddling, and all that stuff. They treat them well, but they still respect the wild aspect of this animal. But they use the animal in a way to help promote awareness for wolves, which unfortunately right now I sign like every petition possible. It's really frightening what's going on, is that they've taken them off the endangered species list in the western part of the country. They've just separated a species and are, I believe, trying to make this an endangered species in the Northeast where I live. But they're so needed for the environment and our ecosystem, and I can't understand why we're allowing people, after so many years of reintroducing them, after we've almost killed them all off, to allow them to be killed again. It makes no sense. I watched this really interesting video on Chernobyl and how the area is being populated by animals again. If you get a chance, I would just look up Chernobyl and wolves in YouTube and you'll find it. It was about, I think, an hour documentary. It was fascinating what has happened to that area that was, where people can no longer live, but the animals are thriving. And a lot of it has to do with the wolves coming in and just the way they take care of things that we need to have taken care of in an ecosystem. They're really needed. So awareness is all we can do right now. Just keep signing those petitions and being aware that wolves are not ferocious killers, as Animal Planet would say. I think they've pulled it now. Some bad press coming through from Animal Planet calling wolves dangerous killers, and they're not, because they really don't care about human beings. It's kind of like sharks. Sharks don't prey on human beings. It happens every once in a while, but it's on accident. It's not on purpose. We don't taste as good, I don't believe. I think we're not what they're looking for. They're looking for fatty seals and things like that and other stuff, but not us. We just happen to be in the way. Anyway, the other thing I did is I went over to my cousin's on last Saturday, not this Saturday, although I could have, but I didn't because I was busy doing stuff and I was very, very tired. So that was fun. We went dancing again. Love to go dancing. Although we did stay out a little bit too late, and it's an hour drive for me to get home, and so I was a bit tired the next day, which is the day I went hiking, and it was a long day. And other new and good is that, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm wearing these beautiful earrings and this beautiful necklace that my friend makes. My friends are very, very creative, not only in art as in art and painting, art and music, art is in jewelry making, art is in design. Like, they're just so incredible. One of my friends, I just found out she made her bicycle. Yes, she made her bicycle out of bamboo. It's crazy. I would never even think of doing that, and they're so inspiring. So, and we went to the graduation party, which was great. For the shawl that I made, the French can. That was a really fun thing. Last Sunday. After Memorial Day? No. The Sunday before, because I think I recorded on a Saturday. Anyway, that was really fun, and she had music there as well, live music. I love live music. So anyway, my friend makes these beautiful, this is the new thought, and which I love, they're honeycombs, but they can also, for the scientific geeky person, they're molecular structure. I love it, and I love bees. We're having a really, really tough time with bees, which is another reason to buy organic food, because we're not putting the pesticides on that food that actually can kill the bees, and we're just having, if we don't have any bees, we don't have any food, basically. Everything that's pollinated needs to be pollinated by insects, and bees are our best pollinators. So think about that when you're in your garden, and you can plant milkweed for the butterflies. The monarch butterflies are having a difficult time finding their food source, and it's okay to have a couple weeds. You can pull them out, but for the most part, if you want to have beautiful flowering plants, that's great, but don't spray pesticides on them, please. We don't need Roundup in this world. It's not necessary. I don't know. I've never used that stuff. I never will. I don't really have too much of a problem with weeds. I have a few dandelions, but I go and I pull them out. They're not killing anything, really. They're not taking over the lawn. I've never sprayed any fertilizers on my yard. I mow with the lawnmower that doesn't pick up the clippings, but it just makes them small, so it gets put back into the yard, which then encourages worms and bugs and insects and all sorts of good stuff. Natural is better. We didn't have all this stuff a long time ago, and we don't really need it, but I'll get off my soapbox. Oh my gosh, I have to show you, this is so funny. I went over to my friend's house to help her do her garden the other day. All right. And we were planting tomatoes, and the next thing you know, this dove, and I don't want to show you her face because I didn't ask her if she could be on video, but this dove, look at how cute it is. It landed next to us when we were planting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and it was just kind of like following us around and hanging out, and we're like, what the heck? And then we went over to the other part outside of the garden. It just kind of followed us, so we picked it up. It jumped on her, and it didn't want to be off of her. It just wanted to be with her. We don't know where it came from. She has now adopted it to feed it and take care of it, and then bring it outside every day for exercise. We looked it up on the internet, and we're like, okay, well, it needs to exercise. It doesn't really want to go anywhere. It just wants to be with her, but the neighborhood has plenty of cats, and so with this bird not flying around a lot, she's going to take it in and take care of it. So it was very, very interesting. Sweet little dove. Very unusual. I didn't show you the back. The back of its head, its little feathers come up a little bit, and it had another, besides this little brown patch, it had another brown patch on its body, but other than that, it was mostly white. It was very, very sweet. So, okay, so that's it for new and good. Holy cow, it's been a lot of stuff going on here, and I'm kind of trying to make sure that you can see. The light's a little bit weird. So let's get into some FOs. So the shawl is Magrathea by Martina Bem. And if you buy 3 patterns, you get 10% off. I actually bought 4. I should have bought I didn't realize that there was. When you buy the Hitchhiker, because I made that, you can get the hat and the mittens in a set, or you can buy the Hitchhiker with the other 3 shawls, which I think the Magrathea is part of that. But I didn't do that. I bought the Hitchhiker all by itself, and I actually like the hat and mittens, so I bought those. And then I bought the Magrathea, and then I also bought, hang on, because that's instructions. That's instructions. This one. The Agence. I'm probably not, I don't even know how to say that. So I bought 4, I got 10% off, that's great. I probably won't make the hat and the mittens until this fall, but I am finished with my first Magrathea. I haven't woven in the ends yet, I just blocked it yesterday. So I made this week. There's one mistake right there. I think you can see that. You might not be able to see it. It's in the garter stitch. I must have knit in the row below or something. A lot of times I don't watch when I'm knitting, and so because I'm doing stuff, attached to my necklace. So, oh well. And then I did something else really weird here. I had 2 extra stitches. Oh, you probably can't see it. See that little part where there's 2 knit? So I had extra, otherwise it wouldn't look like that, and I just knit 4 together to pull it together. It's a very interesting shawl. It's very fast and easy to make. It's garter stitch and you do the edge at the same time, which is really fun because you don't totally get bored of just doing garter stitch, garter stitch, garter stitch, and then I have to pay attention, which is what the can was, which I don't mind. I mean, I liked both, believe me. I'm all for garter stitch. I love it. So, and I am going to make the French can again. I'll show you what yarn in a second. But this was a really fun pattern. It was very interesting. You can not memorize, but you're not well, I didn't totally memorize, like I could use this without the pattern, but you look at it really quick and you're like, oh yeah, I'm on that row. That's no problem. It's not difficult at all. The edging was something because you knit like this and the edging, and then you have to knit on the bottom edging. So that one was a lot more paying attention because you're doing many more rows of the stuff, and it changed a little because it wasn't what you were doing before, and then you only have that one repeat. So you do this one forever and you're like, oh yeah, piece of cake, and then you're like, oh, I gotta pay attention. Anyway, I love this, and this is going to my friend who's not feeling well, who was supposed to be going to France and coming to visit me in Italy, but she is not, so it's very sad. So I wanted her to have something to cheer her up and make her feel good. So this is with Malabrigo. Hang on, I have the tag here, and I really love this yarn. This was great. Malabrigo. I got this at Webb's when I went. It's Malabrigo sock. Sorry. And the colorway is, I'll just show you. This. Oops. Sorry. And this is what the yarn looks like. Well, I'm sorry. The light's really off. It's really beautiful. It's showing more purple. It's not. It's really blues. Darn, my light is really off. It's very much more blue, and it's got a lot of light blues and purples in it. Really, really pretty. I bought that fiber also, and I was thinking of spinning that and making that shawl for me. So I might do that. I might put that on the wheel before I go because it was such a quick, easy shawl. And again, I used the Inspinity blocking wires. They're fantastic. They're just so darn easy. It's ridiculous. Love them. So yeah, if I could spin that up before I go, which I am leaving on the 28th of this month. So I've got 28 days. That's 4 weeks. So maybe I can get that done, and then I can bring it and I could make another one while I'm there, which would be good, which is very interesting because right now I'm going for 3 months, and it'll be pretty much, June, July, September. I don't know if it gets, I've been there in October. I've never been there in September. It was a little chilly in October at night. So I'm not sure exactly, what to bring, but I'm bringing as much summer stuff as I can, and then a few things for fall. But shawls are always good because they take that chill out, and so I could make one of those very quickly since I've already done it already too. So I'd like to do that, and I really like it, and I'm like, oh, I should get a skein for me, and I'm like, well, you bought the fiber, why don't you just spin your own? So that is might be happening. The other thing that I finished this week was Evening Lace by Cecily Glowick MacDonald. And I made mine a little bit longer. I made it with, I did the macrotheas on, I don't know, size 3 maybe? I think so. I'm not sure. So this is the vest. I made it a little bit longer, and I used Classic Elite Solstice, which is a organic cotton and merino blend. And I did make it a little longer because I kind of don't like things too short on me right now. It's just not versatile enough. So I think I have yarn left over. I can't remember how much I used. I'm sorry. I did actually make a page for it in Ravelry, but I haven't taken pictures of anything. I'm so lame with taking pictures and getting them in Ravelry. It took me a while to get all of the yarn in, and then I bought new yarn, and I haven't taken any pictures of those. But anyway, I really liked it. The pattern was super simple. It didn't take very long to make at all, and I love the yarn. I have used this yarn in other projects before, and I did just buy some more, and I probably will take this yarn with me to make, there are 2 jackets I want to make with it, so actually 3. 1 cardigan, 2 jackets. So I don't know. I'm going to have like half a suitcase full of yarn, because what happens when you're gone for 3 months? You're like, oh my gosh, I need to have everything that I possibly want to make in 3 months, and I don't know what that is, because you know, I tell you, oh, I'm going to make this, and then I don't even do that, and I do 2 other projects because I've been sucked in by somebody on a podcast that says, oh, I'm making this, and I'm like, oh my god, that's beautiful, I want to make that, and then I do. So that's what happens. So the only other thing I finished is a half object, and I'm not even going to show the pattern. I show this like every week, but one sock is finished, and it's my favorite vanilla sock pattern. I think it's Nitty Gritty Thoughts, and it's a little small. Actually, I started to knit really, really tight as I was telling you that my gauge had changed, and I've made one pair of socks that wound up being gigantic. I mean, I might even, if they don't shrink a little bit, I'm going to give them to somebody else. I've only worn them once, and they're baggy, so they're kind of like house socks, and I've got enough of that. I don't really need that. I kind of want socks that I could wear in my shoes. And so because I was knitting really tight, I think that the place from where I normally start the toe, these are top down, got a little bit smaller. So I might rip the toe out and make it just a couple rounds longer, and then that would be perfect. So that's one done. I don't know when I'm going to finish the other one. It's just right now I'm working on something else, the Viajange, which actually I can do without having to think about right now. So it's not purse knitting though, because I don't really want to drag this around. This is the yarn, and it's Cento Viaggi, and it's cobweb, so I'm holding it double. Oh, there's the tag right there. This yarn, I bought this before, and then I had an interesting problem happen. I'm going to go there, and I wound up not being able to use it. And I can't see if I'm straight, but I should be. Okay. So I love this color. I really like the yarn. However, and there is a big however, this yarn is when it comes off the skein winder nice, it was perfect. I did one and I was like really surprised how well it came off. The next one, oh my gosh. This is bits and pieces. This is what a normal one should look like. And this is what happened to the other one. And we're not talking like 1 or 2. We're talking like lots of bits and bobs. And I might need all of it, so I'm going to have to split splice or whatever. It was all twisted around. I had to go up and around, and I had to take it off, use it by hand. And then I got to one point where it finally went back the other way. I wanted to scream. Because this is like, what? How many yards is in here? How many yards? 1,500. That's not wound up nice by a ball. I wanted to throw it away, and I'm like, but the other part of me who's very frugal and says don't throw things away said waste your time and make it work. And so I didn't do it all at once. It took forever. I had to do it in pieces because at that point I was going to get really frustrated because I don't have a lot of time, and to waste time like that is very frustrating to me. But there's another part of me that's just like, it's landfill, blah blah blah. I don't. So I didn't. Anyway, here I am. This is the top part. You stop to do the top and you do a garter stitch for a little while, and then you switch to stockinette. And I'm knitting this on size 5. I was using size 4, I think, to do this part, and then I switched to 5s, and I switched to the ones, these are the, you know what these are called, signature needles, because they're not going to come out. I do have a little problems with my Hiya-Hiyas because they untwist, and if I'm not careful with them, they will untwist all the way and fall off, and then I'm left, having to throw stuff in, back on my stitches, which is not quite what I did with the Magrathea, but I wound up pulling some stitches out on accident. Yeah, that was interesting. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. So anyway, I'm holding the yarn double, and it's coming out. It's so soft, and it's very nice. It's I knit loose anyway, and I wanted it to be looser. So the size 5 going up a needle and knitting loose, I think is working just fine, because I think even though this is cobweb held double, it might be more like a fingering weight than a lace weight. I'm not even sure if the pattern called for lace weight or fingering weight. I think you can do it either. I don't know. I haven't paid attention too much, but I think it's going to be loose enough to have the drape that I want. And this will be perfect for Italy as well, because it's lightweight, or you can wrap it double around your shoulders that way too. So it'll be perfect for summer. So I really want to get that done before I leave. I want to have that on the plane, to wear on the plane, because planes are cold and I don't really like their blankets. So I like bringing my own. So I always wear one of my big silk scarves that I have that I bought in Italy a couple years ago. I love those. They're cotton and silk, and they're so warm, but they're not overly warm, and they're sheer, and so and they're big, they're wide, and you can lay them on you as a blanket if you ever needed to. So they're perfect. So that was that. One of the things that the yarn, I was planning on making this project by Classic Elite, and I'm just going to, I think it's a free pattern. It probably is, but just in case it isn't, I'm pretty sure it is, because I didn't buy this. All right. I kind of know which things I've bought. Classic Elite 4 Seasons Vine Lace Vest. I didn't show that long enough. So now I don't like the placket around, or the band all the way around. So someone in Ravelry had made it without the band. I thought, oh, that's perfect. And I was supposed to make that with this yarn. I was supposed to make this with something else. And I got confused. And so now I don't even remember what I was doing. I would like to make this, but I don't know what yarn I'm going to use now. So I just have too many things that I want to make right now. It's ridiculous. Okay, that can go on the floor. I've got so much more to show you. Okay, I think I showed you this one, the Old Flames shawl scarf. I think I will be making that pretty soon, and I'm going to make that with this yarn, Tivoli, which is pretty much showing up true to color. It's a very pretty mauve-y purple. I guess you can say I love this color, this kind of purpley red family. I love it. And so this I'd like to have done before I go to Italy as well. And then for the French can, which I made out of the white yarn before, this is Classic Elite Woodland, and I bought this at Webb's for $2.50 a ball. And you know why? Because there's no label, but I know what it is. $2.50. Thought it was awesome. It's made out of nettles and wool, I think. And so this actually will go with that outfit that I was telling you about that I was making the white one for, because there's a little bit of pink and purpley things in the top. It's like blue, it's a silk top with pink and blue flower things and a blue skirt, and I think that this will look just fine with that, so I wanted to make that as well before I leave. I know. Will I get it all done? I've got no idea. Probably not, but it's okay. So, all right, let me get rid of this. I have too many things here. Okay, so still on the knitting-ish front, this is Pacochu cotton that I bought from Elan 10 million years ago. Here's a label. You can still get this, not on their website. The cotton is not dyed. It's actually, I'm hoping you can see that, because if I start looking, I can't, I'm in the way. It's naturally this color from the plant. And there's sage greens and there's all these other colors. I found it on another website. Maybe it's Fabulous Yarns. I think they might have it as well. It's super soft. I also have a cream color right back there, which I just moved in here because I'm pulling up projects that I'm thinking of making or bringing to Italy with me. And I only have 4 balls of this, but there's a dish cloth, like a dish towel, that I think I can make with all of this. And that will be nice. And then this is Knit Picks cotton. They're organic cotton, which, oh, this is organic cotton, by the way, which is not as soft. And maybe it's the way it's plied. I'm not sure. It's not as soft, but I can make 2, I think, hand washcloths with this. So I'd like to do that as well and have those made before I get there. The other thing I want to do, I got a, hang on, where is it? Darn. Maybe it's behind you. It is. Okay. I bought this little needle felting foam thing at Webb's when I was there. Now, I told you I made the Fiber Trends clogs. I know this is going to be gross because there's cat hair on it, and there's nothing I can do about cat hair in this house. Even if I sweep every day, I will still have cat hair on the floor. They shed. There's nothing I can do about that. So if you're grossed out by cat hair, look away for a couple minutes. I made these slippers just this fall, right? Not very long ago. Look at the holes. I've stopped wearing them now because I can't. They're uncomfortable. So what I thought I would do, because I didn't get those bottoms put on them, is use this and felt some to fill in the bottom holes. And then once that's comfortable, then I can put something on the bottom to keep them from disintegrating. Because I don't want to keep wasting yarn. I mean, it's time and energy to make these, and I don't want this to keep happening. I did buy yarn from Webb's to make this really cool pair of boot-like things. I still need to buy the pattern though, so as that comes along and happens, I will show them to you. I will probably not make them until I get back. I'm not bringing those to Italy with me because I would rather bring the clogs there than those. Or maybe, well, I don't know. The tile, the floor there is tile, and so that's a little colder, so maybe I will. Here I have wood floors, but it still gets cold in this house. A lot colder than it will in Italy because it's warmer there than it is here. Yikes. Oh, the other thing I was going to show you is I showed you the disaster that the dog did, and my cats are no better. So I made these mitts, and I really like. They're simple. They're from Interweave from a long time ago when I first started knitting, and this is what my cats did to one of them. Apparently they like the taste of this. And oh, I didn't bring it in here, but I washed the blanket that Buddy chewed on that I showed you with all the holes on it, and it didn't help. It didn't really felt it up enough, so maybe more times, and really now the cat hair is just getting clogged in there, so maybe knitted blankets are not a good choice in this house, but I am going to be making a knitted blanket when I get over there for that house because there are no cats over there, unfortunately. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, you know, I don't want to throw things away. So I don't exactly know what to do, only having one glove. I don't have any more yarn to make this exact thing. I'm just wondering what I can do to kind of repair this in some way or fix it. It's really large. I mean, it's a large hole. So I can probably stick my hand through the whole hole. So I haven't really thought about how I'm going to deal with that at all. Maybe I can make that same method that I'm thinking for the felted clog and do that with this one of some kind. Yeah, that's kind of weird, but I don't like to throw things away that I don't have to. And wearing it around the house or doing gardening where I don't care if it's going to get beat up. I mean, there are winter things to do outside and it's still cold, and so you might need something that you don't care whether it gets even more holes, so that might happen to this. And I on YouTube there was a girl who made 5 objects from a sweater she got at the thrift store. And I have a sweater that's in that same kind of situation. It had got a hole in it, and it's cashmere, and it's right in the front. Can't really patch that up. And I don't really want to embellish it. It's already has cables on it, so I've been saving it for all these years now, like, I might do something. But she made a hat, she made wristers, she made leg warmers, and she made a scarf out of one sweater. It was pretty amazing. Like, she used just almost everything. So I think if we kind of look at things with a different eye and get a little creative, we can stop throwing things away and reusing them until there's absolutely no more life left into something. So that's the plan anyway. I'm trying not to throw things away. I'm trying to give things away that are good. I just went through my clothes again and found 2 more sweaters, one vest and one like a long tunic top that I don't wear, and so I'm bringing them to Knit Group Thursday, see if anybody wants them. Okay, so that is it for on and off the needles and any knitting related things that I'm working on. Went to the library and to pick up a book that I had on hold, and this book, Iris, yeah, I'm not even going to try. EIE, I don't even know how to go there. Reversible Knits. So I didn't have a chance to look at it too much, but I did look at it last night, and I looked at it again, as I just got it yesterday, Saturday, Friday? I don't even know anymore. The days are blending. And this is a really interesting little book. I would recommend seeing if your library has it first to see if this is something that you like. But what I liked about this book was that there are a bunch of alternatives. So it's reversible, and then there's different ways of, and there's also, there's different ways of doing something. So there's one type of yarn using knits and purls to make a reversible fabric. There's multi-yarns using knits and purls. There's lace, there's cables, there's double knitting, and there's modular. And she also has a little thing that says go online and look for her. She has more techniques to share. And some of the techniques are really interesting. Some I've seen before, some I haven't. And I had a couple of projects in here that I thought were kind of interesting. This is called Natural Beauty, and it's a little scarf, and here on the side is one way to wear it. And here on this side is another way with the little cables. I thought it was very interesting. It's something different. And the thing is, you can take these techniques and make them your own and do something else with them. So I thought that that was fun. And then there's another one here that I really liked, which is called the Steal This Scarf. I have to be careful because there's instructions on this one page. So I always do this backwards. I don't even know if you can see that well, but it has beautiful cables on one side, and then the other side, hang on. Oops. So here's the cable side, and the other side is the other side, obviously. I can't point to it from here. But I thought it was really nice and interesting, and I don't think you'd be bored. So that's kind of fun. That's all I'm going to show you. It's really tricky for me to show you pictures of things, but go on Ravelry, see if they have. I didn't even look to see if they had the projects in there yet, and see if they have it at your library, and take it out before you choose, which is always good. Reversible knits. Okay, so let's get into spinning. I did a little tiny bit of spinning. Oops. So this was the Romney that I dyed with greener shades. And you can't see it. Why is the light so bad? And I did this with a Navajo or a chain ply. Some of it's really thin. Like it's spun up. I don't know how many yards I have. This is a 2-yard hank, so all I need to do is count the plies, but I don't. So it's not consistent. There are some that are really, really tiny and others that are a little bit bigger. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. The blue dye in the greener shades does not set. I have not been able to make it set, and so I will not be using that blue turquoise color anymore. I'm going to use up what I have, but I'm not going to. I wouldn't buy it anymore. It's just it's not sticking, and I really don't like getting blue on my hands or on people, or I don't know what's up with the dye, but it won't stick. And I don't have a lot here, but maybe like a stuffed toy or something would be fine. It was just fun. I didn't really want to think. I just spun. Right now thinking is a little bit tricky because I've got so much stuff going on that, I just kind of do want the simpler things. So when I go to Italy, it's going to be Tour de Fleece, and I never participate in Tour de Fleece. I always think, oh yeah, I'm going to. So the same thing, oh yeah, I'm going to, but I might not. You've seen this before. This is the, what is this? I'll think of it in a second. I can see her name. Anyway, it's silk. And I have enough here to actually make something, so I am going to bring this to Italy with me. And this is the one I showed you last week too, from Adirondack Yarn Company, which is silk again. I was thinking of applying this with the other one that I was telling you about, but now that's the one that I want to make the shawl out of, so I probably won't be mixing them because obviously I'm not going to be. I'm going to take this with my trindle. Trindles are easy to pack. All these little things come out. I can add the other ones and nothing gets broken. I have the only other spindle I have is a Bosworth, and I really, really, really don't want to break that. So I will be bringing this, and I can probably get something spun. We'll see. I will be busy over there, but 3 months is a lot of time, so you never know what you're going to want to do. And, just having something in case I want to won't kill me. And if I wanted to, I could even just leave it there. It's not that big of a deal. I have another trindle, the little one, and I also have my Bosworth here, so, I can basically leave this if I want to. So that's it for spinning. Just looking around here. Where are my notes? Okay. So I wanted to talk about a couple things. One is organic fabrics, like especially organic cottons, and I'm right now in the process of, which I really need to get a move on quickly because I need to make some things for the house and bring them over with me because I don't even know where to find organic cotton over there. So I want to make the slip covers. I want to make the tablecloth, and I think I found a blanket just that I can throw on the couch downstairs. Little things like that, and the curtain that goes underneath all to keep things from the sink hidden. And I found a company called organiccottonplus.com. They have some really, if you're interested in organic cottons, this is by no means the only source, but they had what appeared to be a nice selection, and they also had some printed fabrics as well. In organic, they had a lot of different types of things in there that were very interesting. And I'm still in the search, and I just haven't had time to really investigate, but that needs to happen this week if I'm actually going to get anything sewn and brought back with me. So the other thing that I found is I know some of you like to sew and you like to make your own project bags. Like I made this project bag with the Craftsy free tutorial, and I will make more of these. I do have some fabric already, but if I was going to be purchasing any new fabric, Jimmy Beans has Amy Butler fabrics, which are organic, and they're beautiful. Like they're really, really beautiful. And I was so tempted once because they were half off, or yeah, I think they were like half off. I think right now I just checked because I couldn't remember Amy Butler's name, and they were like $10 a yard, which for a designer fabric is pretty inexpensive, I think, and it's organic, which is nice. I can't stress enough that the pesticides on stuff is just, it's really harmful to the environment. It's harmful to the people that spray it. It's harmful to the insects and the wildlife that live around it. It gets into the water systems. It's really not that fabulous. And so if we can just switch a couple of things, I mean, it's not like overnight. Like, I still can't even find enough sources of organic clothing that are something that I can wear. I'm trying to switch. So it's the transition. You know, every little bit we do helps. And so if you can find a source, if you're a bag maker perhaps, and you want to use organic cotton, well, wouldn't that be fabulous? Because then you're turning a whole bunch of your customers onto a different way of thinking. And when we, you know, and I'm not even, like, the whole dyeing process is a whole nother conundrum, because if it's not done properly, it pollutes. And it's very scary. So every little step we do is a step in the right direction. It's one less burden on the water systems, one less burden on the plants. And the more we demand these products, the more we will get them. And the less, you know, the prices come down, and then they're more affordable. And then, you know, it's not like they have to be really cheap either. And like, if something is super, super, super cheap, I kind of wonder how it was made, because then I'm wondering, well, what did they not do in order to make that a profitable investment for themselves? You know, were they not paying someone enough money to make it? Were they not following regulations for the environment? What corners were they cutting? You know, there is a price to things, and there's a normal price of what to pay for something, and then there's the, oh my God, that's so inexpensive, they had to be doing something that's not right, you know. So, totally unplanned, sorry. I do this, and this is what happens. This is my brain works from one thing to the next. So anyway, the whole idea is, you know, anywhere we can, just like when I drive my car, I have a very fuel efficient car, but I still don't go out unless I'm making a loop and doing my errands in a loop. I don't want to go over here, and then forgot I didn't go over here. You know, it's like you want to waste as little as possible. And everywhere we can find that place is good, because then it just reduces our carbon footprint. So now the other thing I wanted to talk about was microparticles. I just read an article in Mother Jones, and that's online. And it's very interesting, because this topic was something that I didn't know about until I took my toxins class. And they're called nanoparticles, and they're very, 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 very tiny. And they're now making their way into everything. As a matter of fact, along these small, not nanos, but small particles, New York is trying to ban those little plastic pieces that are put in facial cream, not cream, but facial exfoliators and stuff like that. It's like, we don't need that. If you want a facial exfoliator, ground up almonds works fabulous. Plastic, not really. It migrates everywhere. It doesn't degrade. It is small enough for animals to eat. They ingest it. They get sick. I don't understand the point of this. And so now they're putting nano particles in our food. And it's very distressing to read this article, because they're not labeling it. And if you would like to read the article, it's Mother Jones, and it's Big Dairy is putting microscopic pieces of metal in your food, and they're talking about titanium dioxide. And they're not the only ones to be doing this. So I couldn't find a link to all the companies that were putting nanoparticles in their food. And I need to do a little more investigation on this, but I just wanted you to, if you're interested in anything like that, look it up on the internet and do some research yourself. This is where we can help ourselves to just get involved and get, you know, when somebody tells you something, you might remember and then you forget. But if you actually go looking for something, you might be more apt to remember and share information that you found, because you're going, oh my gosh. Click and share. Let people know what's going on. I think that's really, our voices need to be heard, and the only way people find out about things is if you tell them. I found out about this, I'm telling you. You hear about something, please tell someone else. We just need to keep spreading the word to keep ourselves healthy and free of all this stuff, and it's just not necessary. Titanium dioxide is a whitening agent. It is often found in sunscreens. It's in makeup as well because it brights and highlights and stuff like that. But as far as ingesting a nanoparticle, and nano, they put the nanoparticles in the sunscreens, which is how I found out about it. And then it gets penetrated into your body, goes into places where it normally would not because of the size of the particle is so tiny. It's incredible. Let me just read you this little piece. It's 100 nanometers or wide or less. And the human hair clicks at 80,000 nanometers in diameter. So that'll give you a little idea of how tiny that is. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about meditation, and I think because it is such a big topic, we're going to break it down, and I'm going to talk about one type of technique this week until I've burnt out of telling you about the meditation techniques that there are. And please also, again, look this up on the internet, see what you can find, talk to a yoga instructor. I'm sure near you there are yoga instructors that do yoga meditation breathings. There are retreat centers. There's a whole bunch of information that you can find available to you. So meditation, let me just say, it's not a religion like yoga. It is not a religion. And so that can kind of scare people sometimes when they think meditation, oh, you're praying to a god. Well, you're not actually. You're just being still. And there are different types of meditation. So one of the greatest things about meditation is that it is a big stress reducer. And what happens when you reduce stress? Well, you reduce your cortisol levels, which can drive hormones in your body to be overactive and can burn you out. By reducing the stress response, you can also reduce your blood pressure. You can increase your digestion. You can increase your immunity, and you can feel more relaxed and feel more alive. Even if I get less sleep than normal, if I can do a meditation, I feel much better. Not to say that you want to, I'm not going to sleep, so I'm going to meditate. It's not the point. You want to make sure you get your 8 hours of sleep a night. But for some reason you didn't, this will actually make you feel more awake. So, in one of the things that I want to just talk about digestion really quick, because a lot of times we eat on the go. And if you can just employ 5 breaths before you eat, you are now getting the stress out. They can't be at the same time. So you're taking out the stress and you're relaxing yourself and bringing all the good hormones just by breathing for 5 minutes really slow before you eat. It's a really good idea to get in the habit of doing this, because if we have stress in our bodies when we eat, we're not digesting our foods properly, and then you're eating for nothing. I'm not for nothing, but you're not breaking down your foods properly. You may wind up with digestive issues. So you're not getting the nutrition as you should. So, 5 breaths, that's all you really need to do, just to relax yourself and center. This is a lot of what, when people pray before they eat, it's a relaxation as well. So whether you're giving thanks, you're being grateful, or you're just taking 5 breaths, do something to prepare you for your meal and just be ready for it. So when you're meditating, it's at first too, it can be a little daunting because all these thoughts are coming into your head. Eventually that will stop. You'll have a random thought will come in and then it will go out. But it's not, just give it some time. So if you can only start with 1 minute, that's good. If you go, I've never meditated before, I'm going to meditate for an hour, you're not going to be very happy with yourself. And it's going to feel like the worst hour of your life. So I do recommend starting small and working your way up. If you even just have a minute, like I said, before a meal, even to get started, put your meal down and just breathe. In and out. And this is a very, very simple, we're going to go into other stuff later, but just following the breath, and you're not thinking about anything. So anytime something comes in, you just go, that's nice, and you send it out. and you just focus on your breath. So the one way to keep the thoughts out of your head is to pay attention to something else, and that's why you can focus on your breath. You're paying attention to it breathing in. You're paying attention to it exhaling. You're actually feeling the breath enter through your nose and go through into your lungs. And you're just following it in and out. And just by noticing that, it'll make you concentrate on that. And you should be able to do that for a minute at least. So you can try that out and work your way up. I don't do long meditations. 20 minutes is about good for me. Right now, they are a little bit longer because I'm doing infrared sauna right now. And so I'm doing that 3 days a week, and I've worked my way up to an hour now. So I'm in there for an hour. So I'll meditate for the whole hour. But, just start out and do what you can. And this is probably the most simplest introduction to meditation, is just to follow the breath. So, that's all I have for you, and it's 55 minutes and 55 seconds. So thank you very much for coming. I probably forgot something, as usual. Always. Hopefully I can get this uploaded. It is already 10 o'clock. It's getting beautiful. I need to get in touch with my friend. We are going for a walk today to go see the wisteria here, which I saw plenty of in Italy. Over in Cold Spring, and I need to drop off cedar shakes to my friend who made the exhibit with the buffalo hide, because she did not find a home for it, and so someone had recommended the cedar, and I have cedar shakes that were not used for my house, and so I need to drop those off for her. Easy way to keep the cedar on the animal without actually having shavings into everything, because the hair is pretty long, otherwise you can't get it out. So that's it. I will talk to you next week. Thank you very much, and have a great week. Thank you.